All right. Hello. This
Hello,
is
hello.
Joe. I'm just looking at a message that Janelle sent me.
Aw.
Um, this is our show. Um, this is the arena. We play and watch competitive video games, and we try to have fun doing it. And I'm one of your hosts. I'm Eric Kirsting, and that's me. I'm a PhD student at UW-Milwaukee, and I'm joined by.
I am Janelle Malagon. I'm also a PhD student at UW-Milwaukee, and I just watched the most distressing advertisement for Campbell's Chunky Chicken Noodle Soup.
Oh no.
It was, oh man, some very popular esports figure that you introduced me to recently. What was his name? Mango? No, it wasn't.
What
But it was
what game do you know?
No, it wasn't. I don't think they were actually playing the game in the ad.
Or I meant like what if you knew what game they play competitively.
Oh, I'm not sure. I think it's Smash. Ooh, that might not be true.
Let me look up. I'll look up Chunky Soup Smash.
Or even
Commercial.
esports will probably bring it up too.
Hungry Box. Oh, is it Hungry
Yes.
Box?
Yes, that's who it is.
All right, let's look at this.
Oh my god.
All right.
Why is it a thing? What is happening?
Amazing! A surprise save from Hungry Box's mother.
Your moves were a little bit off sand. You must be hungry. Fuel up on Campbell's Chunky Soup.
Like what?
Thanks, Mom.
Now let's smash this noob!
Superb victory!
It's a pretty weird commercial there.
That's a super weird commercial. Why would you do
But
that?
I think it's kind of neat.
I mean, I'm never gonna forget it. That's for sure.
It's kind of cool to see, players that you've been watching for like 10 years. Now they're in a Chunky's thing. All right.
It's the dream.
Well, today I'm going to be coaching Janelle through just playing some Hearthstone, and we're gonna build a deck together. And so Janelle, I assume you have picked out a card or a concept or a class, like something to help us base this deck on that we're gonna be laddering with.
Yes. So I have options because deck building is what I'm not good at.
Yeah.
So, I'm on HS Replay and I'm just or the deck tracker, and I'm just kind of looking over things. And definitely my favorite class is Demon Hunter, probably
Okay.
because I've been winning a lot with it. But I haven't played in a month. Literally, the last game I played was 30 days ago.
Okay.
So I don't know if things have changed because I have not kept up with things. But so Demon Hunter as a class, definitely a fave. As far as a particular card, where did she go? She's over here. No, she's not. She's over here. Oh no, where'd she go? There she is. Priestess of Fury. Because
Alright.
what?
That card was recently nerfed.
It was. I think it's still pretty brutal though.
Oh, I do not own Priestess of Fury. I disenchanted all my copies when it got
Okay.
nerfed. But we can still build a deck around it because I don't need to own the card. So do you have 2 Priestess of Furies?
I only have one. I can probably craft another.
That's up to you.
The other option was building around Nethrandamus, which is a legendary. I only need one.
All right, so you want to try to build a Nethrandamus deck. Okay. So Nethrandamus is a 9-mana 8/8. Summon 2 Xerxes minions, upgrades each time a friendly minion dies. Let's try. We'll build a Nethrandamus deck. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna name this deck Nethrandamus. All right. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up onto the initiate set. So because I know that you should have all the cards that are in the initiate set. Because they're free as long as you did the Demon Hunter stuff.
Right.
So we're having a deck that so Nethrandamus by itself probably isn't a build around card, right? It's just one turn where you play a big minion like, which is nice, right? It's not bad. But it's like you can't build your entire deck around like a 1/9 mana card that you like. It's never gonna win you the game when you play it, right? But there's enough synergy, I think, outside of that we can kind of work around it. So first of all, I think there's a couple cards that I think we're gonna want to include right away. So if you look at your 2 mana cards, the Feast of Souls, right? Draw a card for each friendly minion that died this turn. Well, that's pretty similar to what Nethradamus does too, right? It upgrades when a friendly minion dies. So you play Feast of Souls after a bunch of minions die. Kabam, kaboo, you just drew a bunch of cards. That's pretty useful. I'm going to put 2 Feast of Souls in this deck to start. We may go back to that. We've also got Command the Illidari, 5 mana common card. Summon 6/1/1 Illidari with Rush, right? It's a good tool for cleaning up the board. And if all 6 of those things die, well, Nethradamus is already pretty much supercharged, right?
There's also a 3 mana version of it that'll summon 3.
Yes, that's not in the Initiate set, which is what I'm looking at right now, but we'll get there. The Initiate set, I know you have all these cards, but we'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and just go to all the Demon Hunter cards, and we'll grab that 3 mana Coordinated Strike, all right? We'll add 2 to that. Oh, it looks like that's a basic card. So, okay, I guess the Initiate set isn't exactly the same. All right. So we've got those, which are good. Let's see, what else can we add? So there's always a question here for when you're building a deck, which is, are you building a control deck, or are you building like a tempo deck, or are you building like an aggressive deck, or are you building like a combo deck? And so I don't have to go. I'm not going to go super in depth on all those because we've kind of covered those at times in other Hearthstone streams that we've done. But suffice to say, right now we're looking at either probably a control or a tempo deck, or with the 4 cards that we have currently, which is Feast of Souls, Coordinated Strike, Command the Illidari, and Nethradamus. And so let me go into just a little bit the difference. A control deck is seeking to it stays on the back foot for the early game, and then it like overwhelms the opponent in the late game with combos and other things like that. So it's really looking to control. It's not looking to win the game early. It's looking to kind of like, it's like Muhammad Ali, right? Like kind of just taking the punches, and then it's going to come in for the knockout punch later on. A tempo deck, generally speaking, what a tempo deck is trying to do is it's trying to have the best play every turn. And like from the start of the game to the end of the game. And the reason why that's different than an aggressive deck is because an aggressive deck is trying to have the best turns early on. They don't care about turns like 5, 6, or 7. But a tempo deck is going to still be wanting to be making really strong plays on turns like 4 through 7. And so their goal is to just, by playing something strong every single turn, they're going to end up like, pushing the opponent out of the game. And so I can see with what we've got so far, this deck going in either direction. It could be a tempo-y kind of deck, but it could also be kind of a control-y, combo-y kind of deck. So my question to you is, when you envision Nethradamus, do you imagine him as kind of like this, my opponent's almost dead and now I slam down Nethradamus and now you're done? Or do you imagine Nethradamus as like a broader part of a big control strategy?
So Nethradamus is one of the core cards in my other Demon Hunter decks, but I normally use it in a tempo kind of way. Most of my Demon Hunter decks run tempo; they don't really run control. So I'm interested in doing a control one since it'll just be different. Okay,
so we're gonna do control. So a control deck wants removal, right? And the reason why is because removal allows you to get to your late game things, right? So there's a couple cards that we're going to want to include if we're going for a control route. So let's include 2 Immolation Aura. It is a 2 mana card from Ashes of Outland. Deal 1 damage to all minions twice. The reason why that's really good in a control deck is that you usually won't have minions, but your opponent might. So you use that to to get rid of some of their minions. I-Beam, the 3-mana card, is going to be a really good card to put into this deck because that lifesteal is going. It not only is it deal 3 damage to a minion, right, which is good to take something out of the game, but the ability to outcast it to make it cost 1 is good for tempo. But it's also that lifesteal is going to give you back some life. So there's a lot of good there. Let's also include Soul Cleave. Deal 2 damage to 2 random enemy minions. Another thing with lifesteal. So we're getting back some of that health that we might be losing as we're waiting to get to the end game.
My
All right.
personal favorite is doing the that 8 mana card. That's like it's 8 or 10 mana. It's +8 to your weapon, but then if
yeah.
in the next turn you do the +2 and lifesteal, then you just like heal a third of your health right away.
Oof.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
like
that's
that
pretty
combo.
good.
We probably won't include that combo because it doesn't really jive with our deck overall, but it is a cool card. The last card here that we're going to include for our AoEs, right, our board clears, which is what we've been adding, is going to be Chaos Nova. 5 mana, deal 4 to all minions, right? That's going to be a really nice blanket card for us to help get us to that late game section of the game. So we've kind of got a removal package, and we've got like a lot of these like really dope minions. Let me go ahead and I'll open up the crafting menu to make sure. All right. So now what we're probably going to want to do is okay. One last card I'm going to want to add is Skull of Gul'dan. Do you have that card?
Hell yeah.
All right. Skull of Gul'dan is just a really strong card.
That is
It's
such
so
a strong
good.
card.
All right.
It is such a good draw.
Yeah, in the late game Demon Hunter, I feel like I lose a lot of steam with a lot of the decks that I make. So it's just you gotta be aggro or bust.
Yeah.
All right. So, so now what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna want to think about some possible like combo-y kind of things that we can do with this deck. And so I think, well, for now, let's also include the Wrathscale Naga. 3 mana, 3/1. After a friendly minion dies, deal 3 to a random enemy. Now that's a card that we're not going to want to just play on its own, but we're going to want to combo it with some of our little shitters. And a card that summons little guys is going to be Umberwing. It's a 2 mana, 1/2 weapon, summons 2 1/1 Fellwings. Not great on its own. Well, it actually is a great card on its own, which is a good reason to include it. But it works well because it gets some of those 1/1s on the board, and then like let's say you have those 2 1/1s, then you can maybe play Wrathscale Naga, trade 2 of them in on 3, and then bam, you've done a bunch of damage to the opponent.
Right.
But we never want to play Wrathscale Naga without activating its effect because it's a 3/1. It's gonna just die. But that helps us overall with our control-y kind of approach to the game, so that's good.
So the other thing that I would want to throw in here is something with taunt, or yeah, definitely something with taunt, but if it has lifesteal too, something like the Ashdong Battlelord. Or there's some other good taunts in here.
Let's see. I'm wary about taunts because we've already thrown in. I think taunts are, what I'll say is taunts are good, but they can be like a new player trap. Because taunt by itself is not actually that great, right? And so like we do have this 4 mana 3/5 lifesteal taunt guy, which I think he's probably the best one, and we could probably include him to even out our curve because we currently don't have any 4 mana plays in our deck, so we can go ahead and add 2 of him. But like I definitely have seen a lot of newer players just like kind of stuff taunts in their deck because they think, well, taunt is good, but taunt is like you're sacrificing something to get taunt a lot of the time, and so you have to wonder, you have to ask, is it worth it to sacrifice something to get taunt? So go ahead.
My logic for taunt in a Demon Hunter deck like this is less that it's going to do anything on its own, but rather it's going to keep my things like my Wrathscale Naga alive longer because it's a 1 health. So those kind of weaker cards, even though I'm trying to sacrifice minions, there are some that I don't really want to have.
The problem is that there's so many cards that can kill a Wrathscale Naga with its 1 health that you even go through taunt, like Backstab from Rogue or any AoE from any class, right? So Wrathscale Naga for us is not a board control card. It's a combo card. So we use it in conjunction with some other cards to have a big turn. It's a card that I would actually probably, even though our deck is based around friendly minions dying, it's a card that I would consider cutting. So we've got a bunch of Demon Hunter cards right now. Let's go ahead, and what I want to do is I'm going to jump to the some neutral cards. So what I'm going to actually look up is I'm going to use the search function at the bottom, and I'm just going to put the word dies. And we see that there are 2 neutral cards that scale off of when friendly units die. One of them is Flesh-Eating Ghoul. That card sucks. It's a 3 mana 2/3. And the thing is, okay, so let's ask, what does a 3 mana card have to do to be vanilla good? Like just vanilla good, and that would probably be a 3 mana 4/3. So the Flesh-Eating Ghoul is not even good until you have 2 friendly minions die, right? Not a very good card. But Cult Masker, on the other hand, we have that could be a nice combo card, right? After a friendly minion dies, draw a card. So we use that in conjunction, ideally we'd like to already have some minions on the board. We slam down the Cult Master, and then we draw some extra cards. Let's go ahead and put 2 Cult Masters in the deck for now.
Cool.
And then we see already why putting that Ash-Tongue Battlelord, Ash-Tongue Battlelord might have been not necessarily a mistake, but that doesn't fit overall with our strategy of either of like having minions die or with kind of controlling the board until we can get to that point where we can start comboing our cards together. But we'll keep it in for now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask what you would put in its place.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search on the thing. I'm going to search for the word summon. Because we want cards that summon other cards. Right? That's just generally like, a good thing. So looking through, I'm going to go ahead and put on crafting just in case there's an extra card. Oh, wait, what the heck is going on here? Oh, a lot of these cards can't be crafted. Okay. So let's see. I'm wondering if there's any minion that summons 2 minions. Let's see. All right. Let's see. There's Violet Teacher's not gonna cut it. Ooh, Violet Teacher would be really interesting, actually. Do you have 2 copies of Violet Teacher?
No.
I'm pretty sure I do.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but unless you want to, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so you just don't have Violet Teacher. That's fine. Okay, interesting card to put in could be the Rust Sworn Cultist. It gives our other minions the ability to summon a minion when they die.
Okay, I do have 2 copies of that.
That could be useful, but it's also not great.
You can also build this deck alongside if you want to. And then you can put in the teacher if you want to. Since you have it.
Oh no. The teacher was like a different direction that I was thinking. Like right now we're building kind of a control-y kind of deck. And the teacher would be going in a very different direction. So what I want to do right now is I want to put in the quote-unquote good cards. All right. So, whoa, holy crap. I got a lot of messages on Facebook. One sec. Okay. So good cards. Altruist the Outcast is a really just good card.
Hell yeah.
Satyr Overseer is a really good card, and it summons minions when you attack. And then Twin Slice is a really good card. Like Twin Slice just is like a very flexible way to get rid of some stuff.
Yeah,
and so
that's a really good combo with Ultras.
So the way that our deck kind of is pushing and pulling in 2 different directions right now, which has me a little worried, because we have like the control-y kind of tools going on, but we also have quite a bit of tempo going on, and so we're kind of like we're kind of being pulled a little bit. And so what I want to do is I think I want to pull back on what we might consider some of the worst control tools, or maybe like 1 or 2 of the worst control tools. So I'm trying to decide, let's see, what would we like to remove? Well, we have a draft, right? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy the deck code and put it in the chat, but you should have the same deck that I've if you've been building it along with me, right?
Mm-hmm. So did you end up, I didn't see if you ended up changing anything at the very end there.
Nope. It should be 2 Twin Slice, 2 Feast of Souls, Immolation Order, Umber Wing, Coordinated Strike, I-Beam, Satyr Overseer, Soul Cleave, Wrathscale Naga, Ultras, Ash Tongue, Cult Master, Chaos Nova, Command the Illidari, Skull of Gul'dan, Nethradamus.
Cool.
The deck has a little bit low on card draw, which is something we may want to remedy, but what I want to do is I want to play a game or two with the deck, and then just and go from there. So why don't you queue up into a game on the ladder? And I'm going to kind of coach you through the thing. Don't mulligan until I get there, ideally.
Okay. Am I looking at the right thing? Yeah. Okay.
An important part of the deck building process is to like be willing to adjust the deck as you continue going on. You find out like, oh, this card is not good or this card is good, and then you kind of go from there. All right.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite part of doing this, especially with Demon Hunter, since I kind of like started playing Hearthstone around like a lot more around the time that this came out. I've been able to kind of test things and change things a lot.
Here against Priest, this is going to be a really hard matchup for us. We're going to want to full mulligan this whole hand. The reason being is that we either want some of our more early game plays, or we want, generally speaking, we're gonna want like Skull of Gul'dan or something. All right, so we've got some of our things that summon guys. The problem is that like we don't have a ton of ways to like the problem with the control tools that we have is that like they struggle in these matchups.
I gotta say, this is like a really stressful greeting.
Oh yeah.
I just feel like he could be a little bit more welcoming.
I hate it when like Demon Hunter is just such a aggro like talker that I'm just like, I don't want to interact with you. Like I hope that you know that I'm saying hello or nice job and not I shall consume you.
Yeah.
All right, this will just be a hero power punch pass.
Yep.
Overall, right now our hand is looking kind of weak. Which is worrisome.
Yeah, Kelly, I totally agree. It stresses me out. I'm like, I hope that you don't think that I'm a jerk like Illidan. Very sorry.
Hero power punch pass again.
Yep. One day there will be a very good thing to do with my hand.
Well, this is how control decks go. They usually forego having a strong turns 1 and 2 in order to do some, pretty dope stuff later on. All right, so this is actually our first turn where we really have to make a decision. So let me look at this. So we have a couple options here. I am partial to Coordinated Strike, Coin, I-Beam. Right, and at least that's the first line that I see. We don't have to play it yet. Yeah. But the reason why is because we want those little guys to be around, because then we can maybe like play Wrathscale Naga and trade them in and then do a bunch of damage or something next turn. But having like 1/1 stick on the board can be really useful for us. Like if we draw a Cult Masker, we could draw some cards. There's a lot of reasons why we would want it to kind of have it like that. The other option is to just hero power punch the 2/3 and then pass the turn. Which is like, I think that's fine. Like we're saving that summon 3 guys for later. But what do you think? Or actually, those would be the two plays I would be for.
I think Coordinated Strike personally.
Okay, but make sure then you coin out the I-Beam. You don't want to sack those 1/1s are more valuable as like things you can put in with the Wrathscale Naga, etc. And the nice thing, and the thing that makes this an okay play with using the coin is that we already had, we have a turn 4 play in this 3/5, and we have the Command of the Illidari with our for 5 possibly. So we have plenty of like kind of, we have plays we can make in future turns. So typically what you want to do is when you're assessing whether you want to use the coin or not. All right, here we go.
Nice.
So what I would do is I would play the Rascal Naga probably and then do some trades.
Yep.
And see where we end up. So I would trade 1 in and then see what happens, and then we'll go from there. All right, so it hit that. So we could hero power and use 1 twin slice to clear that, and then punch face. Alternatively, we could just try to get the value out of these 1/1s now and punch one of them in, and either it hits face or it hits the thing and kills it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right, then trade another one in. And then I guess I'd trade the last one in, and it shouldn't hit the minion. If you kill the minion with it, it should go automatically face. And then I'd hero power face, of course. Now we're hoping that this 3/1 sticks, because then our opponent just plays some minion. Then we can summon 6 1/1s with rush, and then we trade them all in, and then things go really well. But we'll see.
And then we really get value out of it. I don't know. I feel like it's probably not going to stay, but that'd be nice.
All right. Our opponent is thinking about what to do, which is reasonable. So we want to think about what our plays are for next turn. If our opponent plays nothing, we probably want to play the Ash Tongue Battle Lord. And hero power. It's been really nice having the Demon Hunter hero power so far this game, because I think we've had a couple turns where we've had 1 mana to spare, and so we've been able to use it to do something. In fact, we might have misplayed last turn because our opponent had a 3/1 and we had a 1/1 and a 3/1. We might have wanted to hero power down the 3/1, and then what we could have done is we could have saved the 1/1 for trading into something or whatever, right? Okay. Well, let's get value out of our minion here then, and let's play Command the Illidari. Ooh, wait. We just got Feast of Souls.
I would probably.
I think this is still a Command the Illidari turn, because let's say you should still have some 1/1s at the end of all this.
That is true, and then just stay Feast of Souls for next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hell yeah.
All right, and then just hit face with the 3/1. Now, unfortunately, our opponent might AoE us here. So, no, definitely don't twin slice.
No, I'm not.
Okay, you were hovering it, so you can't attack with anything else. So this turn is done. Well, there we go. we got a win.
Oh well.
That was okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at how well it went. Let's go ahead and queue up another game, though. So already that 3/5 with taunt is not feeling great. Like, it was fine, but it doesn't fit our game plan, right? So if a card doesn't fit your game plan, it has to be like amazing. Does that make sense? Like, and so there it did not. We just ended up not playing it, but it could have ended up being good, like in a turn or two. A card that we could use to replace that might be the Imprisoned Antane. If you have that card, it's like a 6 mana 10/6 that does 10 damage when it wakes up. All right, so we want to assume that our opponent here is playing an aggressive deck, and so I would keep the Immolation Aura. And the question here, and I would never keep Command the Illidari. So we can hit X on that, but don't hit confirm yet.
Yeah.
I guess you might click X and I can't see that you've clicked X. But then the other option is Skull of Gul'dan. Now the reason to keep it is that it's already outcast on the left side of the hand, right? Which means that we have a really strong turn 6. I would be more inclined to keep it if we had the coin. But we also are a control deck. So I think we're honestly, if we can't make it to turn 6, we're fucked anyways. So
yeah,
why don't we
that's kind of my thinking. I'd rather keep it.
Keep Skull, keep Immolation Aura, but ditch the Command the Illidari.
Hell yeah.
Specifically, we want to use Immolation Aura in fuck. That's obviously not good, but we're gonna have to deal with it. All right. So hero power face.
Yep.
I love shit like that. Or what's worse is like you mulligan it and then it comes up as like your first drawn card after that.
I know. Wow.
Okay. We have a pretty easy turn this next turn. We're just going to hero power down the 2-1 probably. Yep, hero power down the 2-1. This is going to really test whether this Ash Tongue Battlelord is a good card in the deck, because we're probably going to play it on turn 4. And so, and against a deck that may be aggressive. So, you know, that's pretty okay. So our opponent's going to just punch us in the face.
Oh.
Let's see what we draw here. Another, just punch him in the face again.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to play a 3-1 because it dies to the Demon Hunter hero power. So,
Oh yeah, of course.
so that's like, I always imagine that Rascal Naga to be a card we play on like turn 8. Like, like it's not a card we play on turn 3 unless we already have, like, we've got like that one card that summons 2 1/1s, and then our opponent plays something and we play that, and it's a good tempo card if we already have board, which is why I've been skeptical of the Ash Tongue Battlelord, is because, okay, so here this is kind of tricky. Ban the Illidari is will be okay eventually. I would probably just play the Ash Tongue Battlelord, because your opponent might trade into it. But then it's like 1 health, which means it dies to our Immolation Aura and to our hero power. And so and it would die to any of those Illidari if we end up casting that next turn.
Yeah.
We can see some of the pitfalls in building our deck around a 9-mana legendary card. We have yet to draw it in either of our games.
100%. I will say it feels so good to get that on a first draw, because
Then it's getting buffed the whole game.
the whole game, and it's just sitting there.
Okay, that's
And
not
it's
a
like,
demon.
I know something you don't know.
So our opponent is setting up to play a big demon, silence
Yeah.
a minion, outcast draw card. Okay,
Ooh.
that's not we don't mind. We lose a little bit of lifesteal, but we're gonna be okay. So it depends if our opponent is trading or not. It looks like they're not going to trade.
No.
All right, so we have choices.
Onion cheese.
Yep. Demon Hunter, all about that base.
All right.
All right. Well.
So here, I would say that Command the Illidari is probably our best play. It fills out our mana really nicely. And we're hoping to combo the Rascal Naga with something we get off Skull in some later turn. But with Command the Illidari, we can hit 1 into the 4/4 and trade our 3/5 into it, and then trade 2 into the 2/2, and then we still have a bunch of 1/1s. And next turn, we might be able to let's assume that our opponent doesn't like AoE down our board. The problem is that our opponent. Oh yeah. Well, I would just
trading.
Trade the 3/5 and the 1/1.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
The only reason why we might not do this, and I'm kind of skipping a little bit by it, is because our opponent's best play here is Priestess of Fury, and Priestess of Fury is going to clear our board. And their opponent can't play it because they discounted a demon by 2. They don't have it. All right, they do Immolation Aura us.
Okay.
But you know, they end up. That's the demon that's discounted, so they no longer have discounted demons. So here, this is a pretty basic Skull of Godon turn, right?
Yep.
Remember, all right. So that becomes 2. That becomes 0. That becomes 0. Actually, it's 0 when we draw a card next turn. It is 0, but when it's outcast, it costs 1. It actually is worse outcast. So here, this is just a pass. I think we don't want to play this Soul Cleave because it gets better over time.
Do you have too big of a hand though?
Getting there.
Hi, Play Scholar. I've actually had this mic for like 5 years, but this is an MXL 990. I believe 990, maybe 991. Yeah, 990. The only thing that's different is that I got a stand for it, and then I got a pop filter to Okay. Ooh.
But it's more fun to say Popper Stopper.
No. Anyways. All right. So here, so my gut instinct here is that so that 3/3 is going to summon a 9/1. We don't want that 9/1 to live, right? If we're going to end up killing everything. So we have actually a pretty clear thing we can do this turn, which is we could Chaos Nova and then Soul Cleave. and that
Okay.
that only spends 2 mana. So then we'll still have 5 mana left over, and with that 5 mana, we could play like an Ashtongue Battlelord. But there's something else we could do. We could also try to weave in this Immolation Aura, right? So what we could do is we could like I-beam the 3/3. Then we could Immolation Aura, which would clear the 9/1 and the 2/2, and our opponent would be left with something with 4 health. And then we could play like the Ashtongue Battlelord. Let's do that one because that activates our skull. So I-beam the 3/3. Then Immolation Aura. And no. Just play the Ashtongue Battlefiend. And then just pass. Don't punch the thing.
Oh.
We made a mistake. We should have punched first. If we punched first, then it's a 2/3, and it does. But it's after its attack deal 1 to enemy, so it would have taken our health off of our 3/5.
Yeah.
So that was a consequence of. In some ways, play Scholar. This game is like Magic. All right, opponent has another discounted demon lurking around, but we don't know. Now we're past the point where they're going to cheat something out. That's what they did. That's what they cheated out. So we're not too worried about that.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
So here, we have a lot of options. Let me think about this. This could be the Soul Cleave turn.
Okay.
I grow impatient.
Yeah. I like Soul Cleave a lot. So let's play Soul Cleave. Then let's Hero Power and play 1 Twin Slice. And then punch the 2/2. This order is super important on this turn. And then what we're going to do is we're going to play Rascal Naga plus Coordinated Strike and run 2 1/1s into the thing.
Yep. Hit face.
Yep, and then hit face. So we're healing up a bunch, and then we've set up like the reason why I like this play is it sets up the Nethrodamus for next turn, because next turn will be a 9. We can play Nethrodamus on curve. If our opponent does clear, which they just did, they spent most of their mana to do that.
Yep.
And now we play an 8/8 and 2 10/10s, and we're at and we healed last turn too, so we're feeling pretty good. Our opponent is low on resources, and we have a Skull of Gul'dan as our follow up to Nethrodamus. So we've got shit going on. So I would just slam a jam that Nethrodamus.
Bye.
All right, and a Colossus of the Moon is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And our opponent is
good.
all right.
Oof.
Our opponent gets that 3/5 with Rush, but I don't think that's quite enough to deal with their thing. I squelched the opponent, so if they've been emoting, I'm not seeing it.
They've just been, you possess true power.
But for the primary difference between this game and Magic is like some of the similarities would be that they both use mana as like a resource to like unlike like Yu-Gi-Oh does not use mana. And the other thing that they do is one sec, we should look for lethal. We have 18 plus 4 is 22, so we are 3 off lethal. We have 1 Twin Slice plus our hero power. We're 1 off lethal. And so we'll see what happens. Our opponent might be able to like not take damage, but yeah. So that's something you always want to keep lethal in mind when you get close. After this attack.
Did you count the second slice in our hand for that?
I did.
Okay.
That's not a kill for our opponent. Now we're quite far away from it, so
yeah,
that is what it is. So this is going to be a pretty obvious Skull of Gul'dan first turn. We don't have like a good just tempo-y kind of play. That's not good. That's okay. All right, and Cult Master. All right, so what I would do is, so I obviously hit face with both those minions, and then let's go from there.
Yeah.
Don't hit face, obviously, with face. All right, so our opponent's at 11. With hero power, we have a kill on deck with the Colossus of the Moon. So I don't think we should play. We should play the. Let's play the Umberwing to get those 2 1/1s into play, and then let's hero power. and we'll punch face for 2. And then I'm fine with passing from that point. And now what we've set up is if our opponent somehow deals with the 10-10 or the 4-3, we can play Cult Master plus the Rascal Naga.
Yep.
At the end of a turn, summon a... So they're going to get a random demon from their deck here.
Okay.
All right. So... All right, let's look at this. All right, so this is going to be pretty simple. We're going to play that Rascal Naga. We're going to I-beam the 7-9. Then we're going to punch it with the 1-1. Because we just need this 10-10 to go face. So we just need to kill that. Right. And then punch it again, then punch it with the 4-2, then punch face with the 10-10. So we just played the Rascal Naga to see how how the stuff would have gone. We could have played also the Cult Master and drawn like 3 cards. So Nethrodamus definitely won us the game as this we kind of stabilized. We played like a control-y kind of game, and then Nethrodamus was our big thing that really put our opponent on the back foot, and we were able to take him out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's try one more game before we maybe tinker with the deck a little bit.
Cool.
So, as I'm kind of coaching you, I'm just curious, do I seem to go for different plays than you would expect?
Not really. There are some things that I would do like maybe slightly differently, but really not by much. And this is very similar to a deck that I've built before. It's not one that I'm using right now, but I have built one like it before. And there are similar plays that I'd use then.
Okay. All right, so looking at this, especially against Warrior, I would call this a full mulligan.
Yep.
These Feast of Souls feel kind of bad.
Yeah, I agree. There it is again.
One thing that's not necessarily bad, but is you are not playing against meta decks, right? Yet, at least. And so it's not throwing me for a loop, but it does like kind of change some of the math like at times. So like, you know, like if I see a warrior at my rank, I'm instantly thinking, okay, this is definitely an enraged warrior or a control bomb warrior. Like those are the 2 warrior decks. But at your rank, I have no clue what your opponent is playing right now, because
they are playing what I like to call hodgepodge decks of whatever the hell they have available, which is kind of what I do in any rank outside of Demon Hunter or in any class.
Just punch face.
I mean, one that I see a lot is let me just see how much armor I can get, and then you just kind of quit.
Oh my god.
No way you can chew through that amount of armor.
Yes, that's so true.
That is the strength of the enraged warrior. Our opponent is moving their mouse around, so I don't know why they're roping us. So we should Umberwing this turn. Because we have 2 really good follow-ups to the Umberwing. Because we throw these 2 1/1s into play, and now we can either, if our opponent, if we want to go Tempo next turn, we Rascal Naga. If we want to draw, we can play Feast of Souls. So I probably would not have punched with face there.
Oh really?
But hit end turn, and I'll discuss why. So the reason why you don't want to punch face there is because weapon charges are really useful. So for instance, now what we're probably going to do on this next turn, this is actually okay. So it's bomb warrior. So the question is, so we can we have a risky line and we have a not risky line. So the risky line would be something like Satyr Overseer, and then double Twin Slice and trade into the thing. We get a bunch of minions, but our opponent might be able to like clear them, like with some sort of AoE. Or we could try to cash in on these 1/1s now with the Wrathscale Naga, or with the Feast of Souls. The Feast of Souls spends our mana the worst, but it does draw us 2 cards, which is really nice.
I grow impatient.
I would either go with a Naga or the Feast of Souls.
Really? That's interesting. As your coach, I'm going to say let's take the Satyr Overseer line.
Okay.
But I want you to coin out your hero power instead of one of the Twin Slices.
Hitting face?
No, killing the 3/3. So you use one of the twin slices.
Oh shit.
I'll just trade a 1/1 in. It's okay.
My bad.
It's okay. We're taking our time on these plays. But so I'm sorry that I didn't make that an abundantly clear turn.
No, that's okay.
But there was definitely no reason to coin there if we weren't going to do that. So our okay, our opponent went really fast there. Okay, so we have let me think. We want to attack this turn, so we're either going to twin slice or we're going to hero power for sure. We definitely want to do that because attacking gives us another 2/2. We also want to kill that 2/3 in one hit.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being is that it summons a bomb whenever it takes damage, so we just want to hit it once and be done with it. So we could hero power, double twin slice. That will clear it. And there'll be one bomb left over, and then we could maybe trade into the bomb. All right, so I have here's the line that draws us probably 2 cards and also clears that while developing more board. All right, so double twin slice, and then play your hero power and then punch the thing. Then trade into the 1/1 with your 1/1 and then play Feast of Souls.
Am I hitting face?
Yeah. All right. We'll do these turns a little bit faster, okay? It's too bad that our opponent did kill our best minion with that bomb, which wasn't necessarily likely. It was actually very unlikely that happened. It was like probably about 20% of the time, or no, about 15 to 20% of the time they kill our best minion. All right. So that's good that we drew that Umberwing. I kind of like Umberwing, Wrathscale Naga here. So, and the reason for that is that if the Wrathscale Naga sticks, then the Command the Illidari is really good. And and then I would trade a 2/2 and my face into the 2/3, and then
2/2 and face.
You might. Yeah, the only question is if we would hit face first. Yep, doesn't matter now. All right, go ahead and don't punch with the weapon.
Okay.
Because you want that extra 1 attack. That it can go face whenever, right? So we don't want to waste the charges on the weapon. We don't want to waste the charges on the weapon when it could mean that our hero power gives us +2 attack. All right, so our opponent's gonna trade into that 3/1, and we're feeling fine.
Cool.
So here, I think a good play would probably be we could either play the second Wrathscale Naga, and then we trade into minions and see what happens, or we could just kill it with like a hero power, send the thing in, send our face in. Let's see. Our opponent did play a 5/3 in order to deal with our 3/1 last turn, which implies that they may not have a good answer to another 3/1. So I think the second Wrathscale Naga kind of makes sense.
Okay.
And then I would I'd punch just a 1/1 into it and see what we'll see what happens. Now I would probably hero power and punch it with my face. I'll take that 5 damage to protect the minions that we do have. And that's why those weapon charges can be useful, right? This would not be a play that we could do. But sorry about those previous turns where we were kind of debating the things for quite a while. But that's what you need. That's kind of like okay. So our opponent, they top decked an answer to the 3/1. They didn't. I don't think they had one in their hand other than that. Oh no, they did. They could have played the Wrench Caliber. All right, this is going to be a really hard matchup because our opponent is going to be playing control tools. So our Nethradamus and stuff is just not going to be doing as much as we'd hope.
Right.
Okay, so we have an excellent combo here with the Command the Illidari, Feast of Souls. But for now, we're probably just going to play this 3/5. And then obviously we're going to punch with the 1/1. And I probably hero power and punch with face. Even though it wastes that weapon charge, which we don't want to do ideally. We also don't want to be wasting our hero powers, right? We don't want to hero power for no reason.
Right. Okay, so 3/5.
Mm-hmm.
Punch with the 1/1?
Yep, punch with the 1/1, and I would hero power punch with face.
Okay.
Our opponent can deal 3 to this 3/5 right away, and then but we'll see. Oh, they have that, which means that we're not even gonna get the life steal off. But that, you know, that is what it is. They're gonna trade into the 1/1. All right. Ooh, there we go. All right, so we have a great turn. This is like what our deck is built around. This next turn, so we're gonna want to command the Illidari. Trade 5 of them. It summons 6. We're gonna trade 5 of them in, and then we're gonna feast the souls and draw 5 cards.
Okay.
I think that's gonna be a pretty good turn. It's gonna refill our hand.
I hope it doesn't fill it with bombs.
And clear our opponent. Yeah, well, we only have 2 bombs in our deck, so you know we're gonna have to accept that.
True that.
We have the Soul Cleave for some lifesteal. That could be good later. But yeah, I think the command the Illidari Feast of Souls is it's a really good lineup here. And drawing 5 is good. It actually, because we don't overdraw anything, we're gonna all right, get Immolation Aura, and then we'll want a hero power face most likely. We'll look up on HS Replay. I'm curious about what decks on HS Replay run Nethradamus and what are their win rates. Alright, our opponent takes that out. They played a, wait, was that Faceless Lurker? That was created by, okay. Okay, we have a top deck Skull of Gul'dan, but the problem is we have to play out like our hand in order to actually okay, so the question is, can we play out, we would have to play 2 cards and then we can play Skull. So can we play 2 cards and play Skull? We have to burn our Twin Slice, which does not seem very great to me.
Yeah. I would love to save that Twin Slice with Ultras.
You don't seem very great to it either, Eric, and it's not here for that shade.
Oh shit.
Anyways, so Altruist, so we could do like an Altruist Soul Cleave. No, that doesn't really clear anything. Oh, we're kind of in a tricky spot.
Yeah.
Play the I would probably play the 3/5 with Taunt. Just get that out of our hand. And then I'd probably just slam down the Cult Master. And then I would hero power, but I wouldn't attack, so you know, just hero power to hero power. Okay, so our opponent is gonna clear our board with that, which is fine. Our deck is... There is a Demon Hunter with a 53% win rate that runs Command the Illidari. Is that the card? Yeah, but it is not. It doesn't run Nethradamus.
Also, we have 3 bombs.
Yeah.
There
Well,
are 3 bombs.
that is how it be sometimes. All right, we don't have any Rascal Naga. What do we have? Do we have anything that can play off of this Command the Illidari? Not really.
Not really.
Which is unfortunate.
I grow impatient.
Chaos Nova isn't even gonna clear shit right now. And
It's
the
like
Illidari
Chaos Nova with command would at least get rid of the taunt, but it wouldn't do anything long term.
Yeah. All right. So
I grow impatient.
let's. I think we wanna. Let's do Chaos Nova plus Soul Cleave.
Okay.
We're just trying to clear out some cards from our hand. And then it's hero power face. Next turn, maybe we will have a better play.
Yeah. I mean, that at least dealt with.
Command the Illidari was a really bad draw there because it was like one of the few cards in our deck we couldn't have comboed with our Skull. We have eye beam to deal with that. Oh, it looks like our opponent is. Oh, our opponent's an idiot. Okay, great. They missed 4 damage, right? Because those things have rush, not charge, and that 4/4
Right.
could have punched face. All right. Frick. So obviously, double immolation aura does clear here. The problem is that it also summons a shit ton of boom bots. I think we want to eye beam the 2/3, even though it's not exactly ideal, but it makes it so we don't get boom botted to death.
Right.
And now we need to make more hard decisions with our last 7 mana. We could double immolation aura, which is fine. Not great, but it is fine. We could. The problem is immolation aura does not work well with Altruist, right? Altruist just dies to it.
Right.
Let's play double immolation aura. Next turn we can do Altruist, double twin slice, Skull of Gul'dan.
Okay.
So we're setting up for a really good next turn. I obviously punch face to finish this off. Maybe it was an argument there for coordinated strike just to get the 1/1s out, but this is fine too.
I think that this works.
Yeah, we want to be able to power up our Nephrodamus. So there's opponent shield blocks, they get some armor. I think that the problem with our ooh, okay. All right. That's fine. It happens. All right.
Hey girl.
Okay. It sucks that our opponent did nothing last turn.
Yeah.
All right, so we do Altruist, 1 twin slice Skull of Gul'dan. I think that's the play. We do risk drawing bombs, but we have a 2 in 9 chance of drawing a bomb on any given draw. So and it is what it is. But we need to generate some tempo. All right. I would probably play the Satyr Overseer and punch face. I wouldn't play the coordinated strike. Because but now we've created a board, and we say to our opponent, deal with it.
What are you gonna do now, son?
Alright, so now we probably don't want to draw any more cards. It makes this Cult Master bad.
Yeah.
We got a Brawl out of them, which is good, because Brawl is their answer to Nephrodamus. Oh, and we had the best minion lift.
LOL.
Alright.
What?
Alright, that's fine.
I mean, Satyr's my low-key fave.
So we should command the Illidari and just run 5 of them into the 4/5, which is going to buff up our Nephrodamus. And then we've got this really nice combo of coordinated strike, sack the minions, and then Nephrodamus the turn after.
Bye.
And so the thing to note is that we're going to have to win with Nephrodamus. Yeah, I would hero power face, yeah.
Yeah.
So like if Nephrodamus gets cleared, we just lose.
Yep, straight up. Alright, so we have
Which is probably this is probably oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say there are really not very many cards that we have left. What did you just do?
We got this. We just need to dodge the bombs. No more drawing.
Girl.
Just dodge all the bombs.
Yeah, the only things that are not bombs. Wow.
All right.
Amazing.
So coordinated strike. Run the 3. No. Oh my god.
Oh, you said coordinated strike.
Yeah, you have a 0 mana 1 in your hand.
Fuck.
That way you could have played Nephrodamus this turn.
All right. That's called losing the game with me. Hello.
It's
Welcome
okay.
to the show.
Run them into the 3/3, the ones with rush, I guess, and then hero power their face, and cry.
And then weep for the rest of my life.
Yeah, we threw so hard. Cause like the thing is that with Nephrodamus, we could have legit just killed him next turn with like if he can't clear the 3 minions. But now we're gonna have a lot harder of a time. It's okay. It happens. Everyone makes mistakes. All right. So now we can actually play Nephrodamus first here.
Stop giving me those, dog. Although I will say, okay, so there are 6 cards in our deck. One of them is not a bomb. This is a good party.
Yeah, so play Nephrodamus.
Give me something good, girl.
All right, so then you're gonna I-beam down that 4/5 because it makes it so 3 bombs don't kill you. And then you should play the other coordinated strike. There was no reason to play it before because the mana cost for Netherodamus doesn't go above 10, and we were already at 10. Then I'd run the 2/1s with rush into it, and then I'd run the 1/1 without rush into the face.
Right.
So for difference purposes, if we had the same Netherodamus and our opponent didn't clear, we would have done 15-21 damage this turn. We had the Twin Slice Hero Power in hand. They have a Deathwing. So
Cool.
the Deathwing would have ended up dealing with what we had, and they had a Brawl, so there was no hope. But we managed.
The miracle here is that we didn't draw a bomb.
So
All right, from here on out, it's just bombs.
no, this is just concede. You can't win. You could concede by playing Skull of Gul'dan.
Yeah, do it. I love that shit.
I choose how I go. Get away from me.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
Bye.
I love that shit.
Honestly, that still feels like a win.
All right, I think we want to retool this deck now.
Agreed.
So I think
that was a good way to go.
I agree, man.
That was a good way to go. So I think building this as a control deck was a mistake. And that's fine. This is what deck building. This is how we learn when we're deck building. But the reason why this doesn't work as a control deck is because we're kind of sitting around doing nothing, and we don't have game-ending big plays. We have one, which is Netherodamus, right? Which is a good card. It's a card we built our deck around. But we should probably have Netherodamus be our finisher, rather than being like because a control deck generally is going to want to have big plays and ways to swing the board. And it's going to want to outvalue the opponent. And the problem is that we can't outvalue our opponent with this deck right now. So we're going to want to remove the control tools. So Immolation Aura, I'm removing that. The next one up, the Soul Cleave, I'm removing that. The Chaos Nova, gone. The Ash Tongue Battlelord, the 3/5 Taunt Lifesteal, it's gone for now. That one could make a return if we really want it. And so now we have 8 cards we can add into the deck. All right. So the question is, what are we going to add? We want cards that summon cards. That would be good. Cards that so we're looking to make this into more of a tempo deck. We want good cards that are good to play and that do stuff when they're played. That is pretty good. And since we're the high end of our curve is Netherodamus, we're going to want to have some cards that are a little bit more higher mana cost. So, do you have Imprisoned Antan? It's a 6 mana card.
No. I have Imprisoned Vile Fiend, which is very different.
Yes. All right. It's a 6 mana Demon Hunter card. And just in case you're looking in neutrals, it's a rare card from the last set. Okay, that's okay. Do you have Coilfang Warlord?
Yes, I do.
Do you have 2 of it?
Hell yeah, sure do.
Okay.
I love that thing.
So since we're going for tempo, Coilfang Warlord is an amazing tempo card because it's a 9/5 with a 5/9 right on the back end.
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and we'll add 2 Coilfang Warlords. So that's an 8 cost card. Now we're gonna want to. We don't necessarily. You said you have Priestess of Fury. Why don't you add 1 of those? They're 7 mana, right?
Yep.
All right, add one of those. You only have 1, but I wouldn't probably.
Yeah.
I'd actually. Yeah, we'll keep the Coilfang Warlord, I guess. Having 2 is a dangerous proposition. It's a very expensive card.
Yeah, that's my only concern.
I'm gonna look up the word died. All right, the only card that has that keyword is Feast of Souls, so that's fine.
Okay.
So then we might want to add a little bit extra draw to get into some of our combo pieces. So why don't we add 2? Do you have Spectral Sight?
Yes, that's a what? 2 mana?
2 mana, draw a card, outcast, draw another.
Yeah.
Let's add 2 of those. Actually, let's not. Take them out.
No? Okay.
Because we have the Feast of Souls draw and we have the Cult Master draw, and so we're ideally we're gonna want to try to power up those guys. So let's go ahead and add. We want to have tempo play, so we want to have minions that we can just like play, that we're happy to play. I think that's what we really want to be doing. And you have Glaive Bound Adept, right?
Yes.
Let's add 2 of that. That's a good card. And then let's add. So you're at 27 now, currently, right?
Yeah.
All right. We could do 2 Sightless Watchers.
Okay.
Or we could do. All right. Well, let's add. All right. So first of all, let's add 2 Battle Fiends. It's a little 1-drop. It sticks around. It actually kind of it jives with what we're trying to do, anyways. Like it's a little guy who's gonna stick around. And then let's add. We'll add 1 Sightless Watcher, and then that should fill out your thing.
Yeah.
Right? All
Yep.
right. Let's try out this new deck. For me, I'll have the deck completed in my collection, but I'll put in a Furious Felf and to round it out. But that's just because I don't have a Priestess of Fury. All right.
Okay.
So go ahead and let's go ahead and go on back up, and we'll see where we go from there. So basically what we did is we removed some of those tools that were just kind of sitting in our hand, and we were kind of waiting to play them, and we replaced them with more proactive things, that like minions we can play on curve, and that can help us. So instead of like kind of waiting around now, what we're going to be trying to do probably is we're going to be trying to gain board, and then we're going to use are these cards that reward us for having board, rather than trying to use like them as combo pieces. Does that make sense?
Right.
All right, so we're going to definitely keep that Battle Fiend, and we're going to ditch the other 3 cards.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Skull on the far right is not nearly as good as Skull on the far left. Battle Fiend is a card we can play for 1, and having so we have a turn 1, we have a turn 2, we have a turn 3, and we have a turn the I-beam as kind of a backup. So I think we just play the Battle Fiend here.
Yeah, I agree.
Our opponent is playing Quest, which means they actually have a similar strategy to us of summoning a bunch of little guys.
Okay.
Ooh. All right.
Okay.
So what I would do here is I would play the Umberwing. And then I would actually coin I-beam.
Okay.
And then I would punch the face with the weapon, and then I would, after you punch the face with the weapon, punch with the Battle Fiend. Because the Battle Fiend gets buffed when you attack.
Right.
So, good order. All right. And then the nice thing, this is a really good curve. This is like what's funny is these are all the new cards we put in. And this is like the aggro demon hunter curve. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an important turn. What I want you to do is trade a 1/1 into their 1/1 first. See what happens. Okay. That's actually really good for us, believe it or not. All right, and then play the Satyr Overseer. Punch face with your face. Then I would trade the 3/2 into the 3/3, and then I would run the 1-drop in the face, the one in the face. So let's go over why we did things in that exact order. So we were worried about one particular spell, Explosive Trap. All right, so our opponent marked shots to deal with that. Explosive Trap would have been really bad for us there because it would have cleared our board. And so we wanted to trade with the 1/1 before that happened. Ooh. So this is a weird turn, but we just want to jam the Cult Master and go face with the other things. We just want to spend our mana efficiently. Our opponent might be able to just kill the Cult Master before we're able to draw with it, but we can't. We're setting up for the Command the Illidari for next turn. We have the Feast of Souls. We have this I-beam. But the problem is like that 4/2. Yep, it gets scrap-shotted, and that'll happen sometimes. Let's see if our opponent plays anything. They're gonna play Toxic Reinforcements. All right. But, so we're going to play that Sightless Watcher for sure. Remember, we don't draw this card, but we We
right,
do
we
get.
just see it.
All right, so we have two options here that are both. I think the Glaive-Bound Adept works really well because we're kind of being a tempo weed kind of deck, and the Glaive-Bound Adept allows us to hero power and then Glaive-Bound Adept and deal 4 to something, which is
Yeah, I
is
agree.
pretty good. So that's our best tempo play for next turn. So I would probably go with the Glaive-Bound,
Demons.
and then I would punch face with the with everything, including your face.
Hero power.
Yep. Our deck, because it's a tempo deck, lacks some aggressive ways to finish the game, right? We don't have like big, meaty ways to just chunk down our opponent's HP. So we need to keep control of the board the best we can. Okay, our opponent's going to Unleash the Hounds, which this is a bad Unleash the Hounds against our deck because we could, in theory, have more than 3. Because that summons a 1/1 for every guy we have.
Right.
All right. So we'll see where our opponent sends those things. And then, and so here's the other reason why we take that Glaive-Bound Adept. We have our like, our super draw combo for turn 7 with the Command the Illidari and Feast the Souls in hand.
Right.
All right. So here we're definitely going to hero power Glaive-Bound Adept, but there's a question. We could run the 2/2 into the 3/2, and we lose a 2/2, but we do 4 damage to face. Or we could do the 4 damage from the Glaive-Bound and run it into the 3/2, and then we lose 2 damage this turn, but we maintain a 2/2. And I know that seems like, well, duh, we should just hit the 3/2 with the Glaive-Bound Adept, right? Because it preserves a minion. But we have to ask, is that minion actually going to go face again? And I think the answer is probably. So I think the obvious play is the correct play, but it's worth talking about before you make it. So I would hero power, punch face, Glaive-Bound Adept the 3/2, and then punch face with the 2/2. And we saw that Sightless Watcher actually felt pretty good there because it really evened out our curve. It gave us a very nice, clean play for this turn, which is nice. All right, so our opponent is going to clear the 6/4 there, unfortunately. And then they're probably going to hero power with this to get their toxic reinforcements up.
Yep.
All right. Ooh. We can't really use the Cult Master here. So I think the plan that we originally had, which is Command the Illidari, trade 3 of them into that 2/3, and then play Feast of Souls is our best play.
Okay.
And the nice thing is we still have a bunch of 1/1s sitting around, and that could be used with Cult Master next turn. And draw 3 is nothing to sniff our nose up at. And so we got the Rast Scale Naga too, so that's good. Obviously punch face with the 2/2, but don't play Twin Slice. So hopefully these minions live. I'm skeptical. Yep, they're not gonna live.
Yeah, okay.
That's too bad. Because we're low on cards we can easily summon. Our opponent wants to hero power this turn to get their toxic reinforcements up. And then the question is whether our 2/2 survives. Oh, maybe they're gonna leave up 2 1/1s.
Huh.
If they leave up 2 1/1s, we're pretty happy. Oh, sorry, I was wrong. They leave up 1 1/1. Priestess of Fury does kill all of those, which is nice. They'll do 6 damage to our face, so it'll be at 18. Our opponent has played both Unleash the Hound, so that's not as big of a worry. I would say that the Priestess of Fury is the best play. And I would not play the I-Beam. I would just hero power the face.
So just Priestess of Fury, hero power?
Yeah.
My blades will sing.
She does 6 among random enemy minions, which means she's pretty likely to kill those guys. And if she doesn't kill them, we're not overly disappointed.
Sure.
All right, so now we got to start looking for potential lethals. So our opponent is at 8. We have 2 damage in hand plus a 3rd damage from the hero power right now. So we're still 5 off lethal. We win. That's why it depends on what they get from this. Oh yeah, Huffer doesn't do it. We win. 6, 7, 8. We have lethal on board, so our opponent can see that we have. Oh no, we don't have lethal because if they do that trade, it's not technically lethal, but we know we have 6. The Twin Slice. Oh, we can glaive bound their ass. So hit them for 1 with the hero power, and then glaive bound their face.
Fuck yeah.
And obviously we would have had the 7 damage, the 6 damage from the Priestess of Fury. That would have also probably, you know, ended the game either way. All right, there we go.
Yeah, that felt a lot cleaner.
Yeah, because we changed it to a tempo deck and we won with the good Demon Hunter tools, but let's not forget that a big reason why we were able to have some good plays near the end of the game was, and our opponent wasn't able to swing it back in their favor, was because we had that Command the Illidari big draw turn, which helped give us, you know, new stuff to do, right?
All right, so are we tweaking or do we want to go again?
Yeah, let's keep going. This is version 2.0 of the deck, right? So I'm gonna keep going with that. Okay, we're gonna be playing against a rogue. The rogue is probably, I mean, at my rank, it would be definitely a Galcon rogue. So, okay, so we're definitely getting rid of Glavebound Adept.
Yep.
And I think we get rid of Altruist, but we don't get rid of Overseer or Twin Slice.
Yep.
We actually have a pretty interesting turn 2 possibility of Twin Slice, Satyr, Overseer. Okay, alright. This is just a hero power face. You want to be careful with these Satyr Overseers. They're not as good against Rogue because Rogue can just backstab them.
Right.
So the question is, do we want to use our coin to play out a Satyr Overseer? Ooh. My answer is yes. I think we coin out Satyr Overseer, and then we play a Twin Slice to activate it, so that we can get and punch our opponent in the face. So that way we can get that 2/2 that Satyr Overseer applies. If our opponent clears it, we're not too upset. We can play those 3/1/1s, and our opponent might be able to clear 1 with a dagger. But if the other 2 survive, then we have a really strong Cult Master turn on turn 4. So that's Sap. Sap is a bad play for our opponent. Like, that's just a fact, because we just replay it.
Yeah.
Like, we replay it and replay that second Twin Slice again. So a really important thing here is, this is like a really minor thing, but on 2 levels, you want to play that second slice, not the other Twin Slice. But go ahead and make the obvious play here. Play the Satyr Overseer, play the second slice, punch face, and then our opponent did basically make us spend 3 mana to get that back in play, but ultimately, and they saved 4 health, but we end up back with this stuff. All right, so now I click on turn. So the reason why we don't want to use that other Twin Slice, 1, we want to keep our hand size low in case we want to use like this Feast of Souls to draw a shit ton of cards or whatever. 2, we want to we want to keep that concealed. If our opponent does not know we have a second Twin Slice, but they knew we had a second slice in hand. So here, I would probably play Coordinated Strike plus Hero Power, because the Cult Master, we don't want it to just get killed by a backstab or some random shit. We want, and our opponent is Rogue. They're not going to deal with these 1/1s very well. So yes, we're not getting the value from the rush here, but we could be setting up that Cult Master. Then I would just Hero Power, face, and hit with the 2/2s. And we've already set our opponent down to 20, which is nice. That Coilfang Warlord is sitting in our hand for a long time. That's all I'm going to say about that. But it is still a great tempo card on turn 8, but we just need to make it to turn 8. So we're hoping our opponent plays a 4/5 with Taunt here. The Shield of Galakrond. All right. If they play 3 spells, I'm gonna cry. That. All right. It looks like they might make it. No, they're not gonna play 3 spells. All right, so we're happy. So that thing's at. Oh yeah. All right. Play out that fucking Cult Master. Let's go. This guy has been useless this entire time we've been streaming, but now he gets his chance. So then I would trade. Ooh, wait. We actually have. Oh, this is actually tricky. All right, so if we trade a 2/2 and a 1/1 and a 1/1. Okay, yeah. Trade all 3 1/1s into the 3/3. Then I would trade the 2/2. Oh, play out the Battle Fiend.
Yeah.
And then I would trade the 2/2 into the 1/1. So you really have to kill that 1/1. And the reason why is because Rogue on turn 6 wants to, and then I would end turn.
Okay.
The Rogue on turn 6 wants to play this card called Togwoggle, which is if you control a lackey, discover this awesome treasure. It's this amazing card. And hey, we could keep this fucking train going because that Cult Master is gonna live. So Cult Master is like the definition of like kind of a win more card because Cult Master is doing some shit. All right. Ooh. Look at this. All right. So all right. So I think we want to maximize our value out of this Cult Master, and we can even make it better with the Rascale Naga. So
Jesus Christ, a huge ass spider just dropped down in front of me. I'm going on mute.
All right.
Oh my God.
All right. So we need to probably go quick. So let's play the Rascale Naga on the far right. Yeah. Then let's run the 2/2 into the 4/5 and let's see what happens. 2/1. Sorry, the 2/1.
Yeah, into the 4/5.
Yeah. Then I would I-beam down the 4/3. And then I would run the 1/2 into the 2/1. It's not a great play, but remember it draws us a card and it does 3 damage to face. Then hit face with the 4/2, and then we're sitting real pretty. And not to mention our Nethradamus is gonna start getting upgraded here. Things looking good. Our opponent saps that. All right, we don't mind. Let's see how they deal with the 3/4. I mean, that's not a great way to deal with that 3/1. If they hit it with their weapon, they're a mad person. All right. Ooh, well, Skull is good, but it's not good here. Yeah. So here we probably want to go for the highest tempo play. So we have 2 options, and I think that they're pretty close to being equally good. One is playing the Gladebound Adept and playing the Sightless Watcher. We get a 3/2 and a 6/4 in play. The other is just hero powering, hitting face, and then Gladebounding Adepting them for 4. That will deal 5 damage to them, which will set them to 8 health. We have this sets up lethal, so I think we should do the setup lethal. So I would hero power, punch face, then Gladebound Adept. And I'm an idiot, and you should say, Eric, you are a dum-dum.
Why?
Because we could have played the Umber Wing, and the Umber Wing gives us an attack and summons 2 1/1, so it would have been better to just play the Umber Wing and then punch face, and then just play the Gladebound Adept. It would have spent our mana more efficiently. There was just a lot of there's a lot of good there.
What, Eric? How could you? Here we are putting the lives of our minions in your hands.
All right, so you have lethal. No matter what that rogue secret is, you win. So just hit face with the 6/4. And then Umber Wing hero power, Twin Slice hero power, whatever, you've got it.
Cool. Bye.
Technically, you could have done 4 damage here, so yeah. But yeah, so that was a slight misplay last turn, but we still managed to take the game.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Got him.
All right, I have to go to the bathroom really quick, but you can go into your next match. I'll be right back.
Cool.
Yeah, the worst thing that happened with that goddamn spider is that both of my dogs climbed on top of me when I gasped. So not only was it right next to me, but I had 100 pounds of dogs stopping me from moving.
That is too many pounds of dogs to have near you when a spider is near you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's like my worst fear. Not cool.
Yup. It's because I have a really old air conditioner that I put in my window, and the little fan things don't close over the window all the way, so I have so many bugs coming in my house. So I'm gonna get I'm gonna go to a hardware store today and figure it out.
Nice.
But yeah, that's where I be right now. How about you?
You know. Around.
Yup.
So, Eric is not here. I'm gonna hold off on the mulligan until I can't hold off on it. I think what I would do here is...
He might not be coming back before the mulligan's over. You might be
True that.
solo right now.
Well, I would dump
your
the...
heart tells you.
My heart says dump the priestess and dump
That's
the
a full
skull
mulligan.
Alright.
Especially against mage. I just thought, what if we played like board games for the rest of the month, like chess and Go.
I'm down for that.
Okay.
Hero Power Face and
I've
Cry
never
because
played
this
Go.
hand sucks balls.
Noise.
This is a really bad hand, especially against Mage, because you want to get in front of Mage, because Mage right now in the meta has really good swing turns. I mean, who knows what the fuck this person is playing, but typically
True.
the Mages that I play against have a. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we're just playing top deck mode. So we're gonna Umber Wing, and we're gonna play it cool. We're not gonna punch. But we'll play it cool.
Just end.
Yep.
All right.
So
Yeah, I'm down for fucking chess. That sounds great.
yeah, we could do chess. We could do. Do you know Go?
I've never played Go, but I've
Yeah.
always wanted to.
It's really cool. We could play like I don't know, backgammon. Like that could be fun to just.
Or,
Those are easy
Battleship.
games to play with each other. Battleships. Okay, I have to play that a lot with my wife because she really likes it. So I don't want to play Battleship on stream.
Uh-huh.
I don't like
Oh.
Battleship very much.
That's funny. It's
Lol.
weird that Deb likes that. Like, I mean, it's a fun game to play when you have literally nothing else to do, but for her to actively choose that is interesting.
I mean, I think she just likes spending time with me.
Nice.
Hero
What do you
Power.
guys like each other or something?
Hero Power Face, hit the 1/1. So here, so let's talk about like the weapon charge thing. So the reason why we don't want to attack when we don't have a hero power or any reason to attack is because that extra one attack could mean the difference between killing and not killing some minion. Like here. So if this is, oh my god, this game sucks.
Yeah, dude, this blows butts.
So I would here's what I would do. So if we didn't have these double eye beams, let's just hypothesize for a sec. We actually would be able to twin slice hero power once and kill that 3/3, which would be nice. But I actually think the play is to twin slice once,
Demons.
and then I beam the 3/3, and then hit the opponent in the face for 3. So basically, what that I beam did is we turned it into from a 1 mana deal 3 to a minion to a 1 mana deal 3 to the face, and we healed our face for 3 in the process.
Nice.
Our opponent is
that.
also playing a Dune Sculptor in their deck, which means they're not playing any normal shit. That's not a card you see, and they're playing 2. Oh, I mean, of course they're playing 2, but
Oh,
all right. Wait, what? They're playing a quest, but they didn't play the quest until turn 4. Dipshit.
Lol.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. They're just playing around. All right. Well, we have a pretty easy turn coming up here. So this is going to be, we're going to play second slice, and then we're going to Gladebound Adept. We'll punch with face, punch their face with your face, and then kill the Gladebound Adept with your thing. This is a good tempo play because you kill the 3/3, you summon a 6/4. And so tempo decks are always looking for that kind of play, and that's why Gladebound Adept is really good in this deck. Next turn we're looking at Hero Power Gladebound Adept because okay, so our opponent is looking to play a bunch of spells this turn, hopefully. Well, that was created by, so that could be like just throwing away resources. Let's see. All right, if I were them, I would be looking for a Ray of Frost on the 6/4. A Frostbolt works too, something to stop that thing from attacking. All right. So some of our more tempo stuff. We need draw really bad right now. But what I would do, this is actually a really tricky turn. We have actually quite a bit of options. I think, oh my gosh, this might be the hardest turn we've had today. So
I grow impatient.
we could hero power, punch something, and then Gladebound Adept like the 3/3 or the 3/2. But the problem is that leaves up a 3/2, which is really deadly. We could command the Illidari, summon a bunch of 1/1s, and then I beam down the 3/3 and run 2 of the 1/1s into the 3/2. But that's really weak to any AoE our opponent might do, like if they play like a Blizzard next turn. And so that's tough. I think it's better to play into Blizzard next turn. So I would play command the Illidari. And then but I would I beam the 3/3. And then I would run the other 2 into the 3/2. if our minions live and we draw like a Cult Master or a Feast of Souls, we're gonna be pretty damn happy. Otherwise, we have an okay play for next turn, which is the we can play Battle Fiend, Hero Power, Gladebound Adept, so that we're summoning like a 2/2 and a 5/6/4 we're dealing for, and we have a great turn 8 with the Coil Fang Warlord. So it doesn't look like they're gonna AOE this.
Yep.
They are gonna probably play oh, no secret. All right. So I think we're still going with that same play that we just discussed. So Battle Fiend, Hero Power,
Gladebound.
Yeah. But you got to punch first. But I would kill the 4/3 with the Gladebound.
Okay.
Because our opponent showed that last turn they did not have an answer to they don't have an AOE or they have a Flame Strike and they were unable to play it. If they have a Flame Strike, we're sad, but we'll survive.
Yeah.
But our opponent showed last turn that they don't have an easy way to clear up these 1/1s because they absolutely would have, because we had that 6/1 as well the other turn. So like they had every reason in the world to play an AOE, and they don't. Okay, they don't play it again, which is good. We have to look for lethal here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, we no longer have lethal. So this is okay, dokie. Hold on, this is a tricky turn. So if we Rascale Naga, we have a 3/1. We run those 3/1/1s into that 2/3. No, we're playing against a mage. And so we're gonna play that Coil Fang Warlord, and we're gonna punch that 2/3, and then we're gonna call it a day.
Okay.
So the reason why we do it this way. Punch it with the Coil Fang and then send everything else face. Because we don't care if Coil Fang dies, because then he summons a 5/9. Alright, so why did we do that instead of playing the things? Those things are cooler. I'm not gonna say like Rascal Naga, start punching shit. That's awesome, right? That's what our deck is built around. But it doesn't spend our mana well this turn. And on top of that, it puts less stats into play. We actually are losing stats when we're doing that, right? Polymorph is fine. That's 4 of our opponent's mana. So now they need to... So, all right, then they Fireball a 2/2. All right.
Nice.
They do summon the 6/6. But now Rascal Naga looks pretty damn tasty. So...
Oh, shit.
all right, so this order is really important here. So first play the Rascal Naga. Then run the 1/1 Sheep into it. That one doesn't matter as much. Then run another 1/1 into it. Face, yes. Now play Coordinated Strike. And run one of those 1/1s into it. And then Hero Power, run everything into face, you win.
Yay.
So like we had to do that very particular order to make sure that we got lethal. But
You possess true power.
Hell yeah.
killed him.
Got him.
Oh.
And so playing the Coil Fang Warlord there, I think was partially what won us that. So next week maybe we'll play chess against each other. That could be fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
And then I'll teach you guys how to play Go, and I also know how to play Chinese chess, which is not Chinese checkers. Just in case you get confused, Chinese chess it's a game like chess where you have like a king and stuff like that. But it has like, and you move units around instead of moving them like in the squares, though, you move them on the lines, which is already different. But I could, so like we could play those 3 at least. And then I'm sure we could also play like a backgammon or something else as well. Or whatever you guys are interested in. But
Yeah, I'm fine with any of that.
as I think it'll be fun to do that, because it'll like kind of like show like the history of like, because like the big difference, right, between sports and board games, at least, and to a lesser degree video games, is that sports, how you do something matters, right? Like in like American football, how you catch the ball and how you run with it, right, is a big difference, right? How you kick the ball in soccer matters, right? You can queue up another game, by the way. And in Hearthstone, like, right, how I play the cards doesn't really matter. Like the order might matter, right? Which is the same thing in chess, though. The order I move my pieces might matter, but the actual way I do it doesn't matter as much. In esports, there's like a lesser of a degree. but it still is like in StarCraft, you still have to manage all your units, and how you manage them matters, right? It's not just about your mental, like what you're thinking. But so it'll be interesting to talk about the differences between the two. So this is a interesting hand. So I would keep both Battle Fiends, and I'd ditch the Rascal Naga. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, maybe. So you just play Battle Fiend here. Ooh,
Yeah.
all right. Next turn is going to be tricky. So we should start talking about next turn now. Should we play Battle Fiend Hero Power and have 2 2/2s, or Umber Ring, get 2 1/1s, and punch face? That's tricky. I guess it'll partially depend on what our opponent does here.
Yeah.
Opponent Ray of Frosts. And then they're going to coin out the second Ray of Frost to kill it.
Yep.
How dare.
So Battle Fiend. So now Battle Fiend Hero Power looks better because Battle Fiend does not die to. Battle Fiend doesn't die to the Hero Power. Meanwhile, those 1/1s we would have summoned would have died.
Right.
Next turn, we're setting up for an Umberwing Hero Power punch. If we had, like, for instance, that 4/2 that summons a guy when we attack, we would have played Umberwing, right? But based on our current hand, all right, so our opponent is Spell Mage. That means they have no minions in their deck. They just have a bunch of spells. This is going to be maybe a hard matchup. So I would play Umberwing Hero Power and and punch face. Make sure you punch with your face before you punch with your guy to do 1 extra damage. And also make sure you Hero Power.
Hero Power. Okay, that's what I want to make sure.
Whenever you're Demon Hunter, you always press the button if you're done playing cards for the turn, before you attack. All right, so our opponent is now. They're probably a little happy because if we think about it, that card that they killed on turn 1, they used quite a few resources, Coin and Ray of Frost, but they did. All right, so they're gonna kill that, which is unfortunate, but we'll survive. Let's see what we draw here. Oh wait, so this is really important. You're going to play the Coordinated Strike, and you're going to hit with the 2 1/1s, but do not hit with your face.
Okay. So play Coordinated Strike.
Yeah. We want to spend our mana, get stuff into play. And Mage has trouble dealing, especially the Spell Mage deck, has trouble dealing with wide boards before turn 6. You can press the button if you want, but you do not want to attack. Because right now we have a free attack on turn 5. So
what's the point of pressing the button in that?
There's no point. There's no reason. It's just if you want to, you can do it if it makes you feel better for not wasting your mana or whatever.
Sure. Gotcha.
But the reason why we don't want to do that is because we can hit with the weapon and then we can play Gladebound Adept next turn. Otherwise, our Gladebound wouldn't be active, right? That battle cry. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I'll say that a lot of stuff I don't like about Demon Hunter, but one thing I will say that I do like about Demon Hunter is that it does force you to think turns ahead, which is good Hearthstone. So here you're going to punch with a 1/1. It doesn't matter which one, but you need to test for Flame Ward.
Yep. Looks like no. So
No
just
Flame
run
Ward.
everybody.
Yep, run everybody in, and then hit face, and then play the Gladebound Adept. We might get. I don't want to say we'll get burned, but our opponent might have Mirror Image. I have no clue what the secret is. Maybe Counterspell. It is Mirror Image. Mirror Entity. Yeah. So they get a 6/4. We don't care.
Yeah, whatever.
Our problem is that we don't have a play for next turn. But
yeah.
If our opponent can't really do anything right now, they're really fucked. All right, they're gonna Apexis Blast. Yeah, that was a play that fuck, that thing's got Rush. That's annoying. That takes out another one of our 1/1s because we're so close to killing our opponent that we 1 damage actually is a big deal. Our opponent should trade with So we're gonna set them to 9 here. That was a very good top deck. So okay. So we actually need to think though. That summons 6 Illidari. So we probably want to trade 2 Illidari in, or do we want to just sacrifice some of them at the altar? We could summon 4 and just go face with the other 3. Let's do some counting. Okay, we do 1, 2, play this. This is 6. We can kill. No. We can kill everything. I think killing everything is worth it. So I would run 2 into the 6/3. It actually does. No. Well, don't play that first. We gotta, because that summons 6, but we can only hold 7. So.
So first thing, these two 1/1s into the 6/3.
Yeah. Now, now you can play the command the Illidari. Then I would run, and I would kill my opponent's whole board here. But don't use the don't use the one that can't go face. And then I would go face with my face, and I would go, and then I would go face with that 1/1. Opponent is set to 10. They need to have. Turn 6 is not a great turn for them, and then we can play Priestess of Fury, and then that's gonna deal 6, and that might, if it does 6 to face, we're pretty happy. Draw a secret from their deck. They're probably looking for an ice barrier. It's actually tricky. All right, so what you want to do here? Oh, we're gonna mind game the fuck out of these people. Okay, they do that.
Alright.
Ooh, okay, so just what I would do is we have to make a tough decision here. We have two options. If our opponent has played Ice Barrier, well, okay, let me think. It's a really hard one. Hit face with the 1/1. Hit face with the 1/1. I think that if it's Ice Barrier, it's Ice Barrier.
It's not.
All right, now I'll play the.
Probably. What was that?
Now I'll play Priestess, and you're good. And by the way, Nethradamus is full. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I figured it'd be another one of those.
It's okay. We can kill that with our Coil Fang next turn. Our girl will not kill their girl, which is unfortunate, but we're going to be doing some damage. All right. Coil Fang can kill that next turn, which is okay. A second Apexis Blast is going to be real killer here if our opponent has it, but we can't we can't really do anything if they have second Apexis Blast. We do have Nethradamus on 9, which is good. We have Coil Fang Warlord for next turn, so we have some good plays. Those mirror entities have been good, but trust me on this, that's not a card you want to actually include in this deck. It's a crappy card. That's so dumb. Our opponent took 1 extra damage on that for no reason. Was that created by? No. Alright, so I would just run the Coil Fang Warlord into the 6/2. It kills the Coil Fang, and that's whatever. Like, it's not ideal. But we get the 5/9 on the back end, and if we I-beam that, what are we doing? Summoning a 3/1? Like, like, you know, it's just like so much worse. And I-beam will still be good later on, right? Like, it's not like this is the only turn I-beam will be useful. But having a 5/9 here is good, and then playing that Nethradamus is going to be. Oh wait, there we go. Hey, that could be used on whatever we summon this turn. So it sucks, but that is half of our opponent's turn. And if they hero power it, go ahead.
I'd also rather they use it now than if we play Nethradamus and they whip out, and we whip out like 2 huge.
Well, the difference is that we actually would have had lethal this turn if they didn't do that. So we would have probably preferred it, but just jam the Nethradamus and let's keep and we're feeling pretty fly.
Give me something flashy.
Ooh, that's flashy.
Right.
That's another minion. The 5/5 sucks. But the
whatever,
6/6 is one of the best. Like, you high rolled 1 and you low rolled 1.
Exactly. That 6/6 is like the best draw from this.
Well, Colossus of the Moon would probably be better, especially because we just saw our opponent play a polymorph, which means that they would really not have an option. But now you just click that end turn and we see what we get. A 4/5. All right. But the thing is, if that 6/6 lives, you just keep getting them, and your opponent is so low that they really need to like deal with this shit. We are like very close to obviously killing them. Blizzard. Okay. Let's definitely don't want to play Wrathscale Naga. Our top deck is going to determine a lot about this next turn.
Yeah. Give me like a Twin Slice or something. Okay.
I would probably.
Yeah.
I'd probably punch face and Clavebound Adept, probably. And then that will be it for this turn, because that Coordinated Strike Wrathscale Naga could win you the game. And there's no Ice Barrier. Wow. Okay, the fact our opponent doesn't have any Ice Barrier with all these secrets is wild to me. Ooh, that guy's cool. That used to be Illidan, but they changed his name to Xavius when they made Illidan an actual card. Or
Oh, wow.
hero.
Oh, that's really funny.
That's not gonna do it.
Nah.
Oh. It might be if you take lethal damage this turn, become immune.
Nope, that's not in standard.
The only ones that are coming up as options are like.
There's a counter.
Counterspell.
There's definitely a counter spell. I think it's counterspell Spellbender. I don't think it can be anything else after last turn. I just punch him and kill him.
Yep. Bye.
But the one you're talking about, Ice Block, rotated into Wild, so you can't even get it from like a random effect in standard.
Yeah.
All right, we've got time for probably one more game, but we've been winning, so that's good.
True that.
So this deck works pretty well. It turned out that putting in the good cards was a good strategy. And so that's generally should be that's recommended stuff for new players is put in good cards into your deck. Like
I do like that. It's very straightforward.
Yeah. Like because it's like a card like Battle Fiend, right? It's not. It's for our deck, we don't have like a ton of burn, but it's still a card that forces our opponent to like do something early on. All right, so I would say we really want Battle Fiend, of course. That's our primo 1-drop. See, this is where we have to take guesses. All right, so if they're Murloc, we want I-Beam. I-Beam is really good against Murloc Shaman. If they're like Galakron Shaman, we don't want I-Beam. It sucks. And I would probably ditch Coil Fang, and I would ditch Coordinated Strike, and I would ditch I-Beam. I'd probably ditch all three of those. But Twin Slice is good enough to keep because we have quite a bit of. Well, we don't need to, but we did get the specific card I wanted to use with Twin Slice was Satyr Overseer. So, we're pretty happy with that. Speaking of Satyrs, that's now playable race, and they're aggro. You definitely want to punch the minion because it gets more powerful if they have overloaded mana crystals. So, what we're doing is we'll punch the minion here, and then we're looking at next turn, coin, Twin Slice, double Twin Slice probably, punch the Satyr Overseer, and then get a 4/2 and a 2/2. We're pretty happy about that overall.
Cool.
The only issue is if our opponent does something weak, which they did, very weak, we do not want to do that play. And the reason being is we have some expensive shit in our hand. We have the Coil Fang Warlord. We have the Command the Illidari. We do like right now. We currently have no turn 4 play. We have no turn 6 or 7 play. So I think this is just a hero power down that 1/1 and call it a day.
Okay.
And so like this is an instance where yes, we could get all this Satyr Overseer stuff up a turn earlier, which could be nice, but there wasn't enough reason to really do it on this current board. Mana Tide. Ooh, Mana Tide. We want to kill that Mana Tide. So All right, so we Satyr Overseer and then we triple Twin Slice. And then we kill the Mana Overseer. We're not super thrilled about this, but we did just set up a really good turn.
Twin Slice?
Yeah, so you want to play to get up to +3 attacks. So you want to save one of the slices. But what we did right now is we set up a problem for our opponent, and we set up a good turn for next turn. Next turn we can do coin, Gladebound Adept, or coin, second slice, Gladebound Adept. So we get that we get the 6/4, and we deal that 4 damage. So
Gotcha.
We're pretty happy with that. And our opponent is not really. Oh, they're gonna be able to kill the what face? You fool! You fool! Okay. So. Okay. Sorry, there's a lot to think about here. Because we could do something like Rascal Naga. No. I think we should stick with the same play we were planning on doing.
Okay. So is that coin, second slice, Glavebound?
Yeah. So coin, second slice, punch a minion with the 2/2.
Coin, second slice.
And then punch that same minion with your face so that you remove it. And then I would Glavebound Adept the 2/3. And so remember, your opponent. Then I would hit face with the 4/2. And let's just remember that your opponent could have stopped you from getting this 2/2 if they traded their 2/2 into your 4/2. Instead,
Right.
they took 4 damage, and you have a 2/2 now, and you have 2 less health. Like, that's not a good trade, right? Like, Evil Totem, we do not give a fuck, and our opponent's overloaded, so they're having trouble this turn. They're gonna Earthshock that. And are they gonna trade with a 2/2 now? See, look at how bad that was last turn. You still have a 4/1 here. All right. So here, we have a really good setup for next. Let's just play the Command the Illidari. We are not going to get the full value because we're only going to summon 5, but we're fine with that. We do want to send 2 of them obviously into the 0/2, and then send the other one's face. But we're feeling pretty good right now. We have the Feast of Souls, and we have the Raskill Naga. So like things could, like if our opponent just like plays a jumble mess of stats, which they kind of did, we're doing pretty good. All right. So let's look at this. So what I would do is I would trade a 1/1 into the 5/5 to kill it.
Trade a 1/1 into the 5/5?
Yes. Then I would play my Raskill Naga. And I would start trading 1/1s into that 5/4. And we're gonna see where the hits go. That's good. I just keep going. Damn. Only getting 2 was a little unfortunate, but now I would play Feast of Souls. And then I'd use my hero power and run the 2 1/1s in face into the 0/3, and then send the other two face.
Okay, so hero power, and then what?
Send the 2 1/1s and face into the 0/3.
Okay.
So do you know what that 0/3 does?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I just realized that that's not a card I even see very often. I know what it does, but
it is decently popular with Shaman at this level.
Okay. That's not gonna do it. It looks like we got another victory. So the good cards are winning us a lot of these games. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But still, like that turn, we got a bunch of extra draw. Like it's not like and if our opponent wasn't just dead here, like this Cult Master would be amazing this turn, right? And the Raskill Naga, so we're playing something that's like off meta, right? And it's just based on what you have in your collection. But I still think that like we were able to show that like we still built in a deck around a concept, and it's not totally meta. But by adding in those good cards, we really did manage to elevate the deck to be something that I think was good at your level, right? We were winning a lot of games.
Hell yeah.
And so, but yeah, I hope that was enjoyable and fun.
That was really fun.
All right.
I love Hearthstone.
I know. It's very soothing.
I hope my coaching was okay.
Yeah, it was very helpful.
But there's a lot of order shit with Death Demon Hunter, but we only messed up order once.
Yeah. Which it's like pretty damn good.
We would have lost that game, I think, anyways, but that was still unfortunate. All right, well, thank you, fam, for joining us today, and some of you for talking in chat. We will be back next week, and we're going to be playing board games for a while.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.